I don't do bad, but I am being slightly annoying everywhere I go. I mean, I'm annoying myself. I don't know about you, and I am not able to sneak up on people today. I'm going to start with a story and then go to the spiritual truths. This is a story of when I first had a part to play at a Unity church. This was at Unity of Boulder, 20 years ago or something. And I got the job as secretary, and I was so excited. And there was my first Sunday. I was behind the counter at the bookstore. Unity of Boulder was a fairly large church with a lot of people who would come after the bookstore to get tapes of the talk. And the very first Sunday, I'm waiting, and there are people in the line, and they have seen the service, they have had the experience, and they show up afterwards, and they were kind of cranky, in my judgment, in the line. People were like, I thought, oh, wait a minute. I thought church people, especially after the service, were different. And then I said, wow, maybe church people are just people, which is, of course, not true. Hang on. There's a surprise. And I remember thinking, I was just a little taken aback because I was so happy to be there and so excited. It was a really fun thing for me to be the secretary and see all the people, and I loved it. I was starry-eyed, but that's okay. So let's bop ahead to some other experiences at church. In the meantime, of course, I learned about the concept of choosing peace. A lot of times, A Course in Miracles preaches this over and over again. I could see peace instead of this. I choose peace. This is a good one. Choose once again. It's especially appropriate when you think about, I love Kyle's lead-in, when you think about Christmas shopping or all the things about Christmas that maybe you don't approve of. You may have a judgment that Christmas is materialistic. And, but is it? You might have a judgment about that, but in any moment we can choose peace. Well, here's the deal. There is actually a hidden bonus of working with church people. There's a hidden bonus of people who are studying A Course in Miracles, who go to the group, who do some radical forgiveness worksheets, who've shown up for some of those workshops we've had here, who take nonviolent communication, meet with compassionate communication group once a week, who read the Brene Brown, study that stuff, take in the class, go to the Paul Selig groups, go to 12-step, practice frequency healing, and on and on and on and on, all the things, all the things that we have here. There is a total bonus about working with people who do that kind of thing. The people who work with me at church, the people who work with me at boards. I had an experience at Unity of Fort Myers where I was an assistant minister, and I did some administration there. That was maybe not 20 years ago, I don't know, less than that. Maybe it was longer ago that I started in Boulder. It might have been 25 years ago. Anyway, sometime in the past, I'm working at Unity of Fort Myers. And for some reason, I can't even remember what the issue was, but this lady got really mad at me. And I admit I was a little ticked at her and for being mad at me, for one thing, and a bunch of stuff. And I remember praying and doing my worksheets. I was doing a lot of Byron Katie stuff at the time. I really liked that. I was doing my worksheets. I was praying. I was meditating. And I kept thinking about her with peace and doing the Course in Miracles. And yet every time I would see her at church, I would just, because I was still in my stuff about her. Well, she went and prayed behind my back about me. I'm pretty sure she was doing some worksheets on me Because one day I come into church, and she just came over and hugged me, and everything went away. And it just like disappeared. All the facts that I had on my list of why I was annoyed and all the things I was trying to do just disappeared in an instant because she snuck around behind my back and prayed about me. Well, that is the bonus of working with people here. Whether I'm working with volunteers, whether I'm working with the board, whether I'm working with the hundreds of staff people that we have, they are doing the work. Here's the deal. Sometimes people are doing the work on you, about you, and with you. And I am so lucky that when I am in the middle of my stuff, I know you don't actually believe that I'm ever in the middle of my stuff, but you could ask, well, Roland, any board member, any volunteer that sees me every week. But sometimes I'm in my stuff, and here's what's so awesome. Sometimes they get out of their stuff before I do. Oh. And then they come up and hug me somehow, or they've forgiven me, and I can feel that change. And that is the super good bonus of working at Unity, of being involved, of doing any project with people at Unity, is that they're doing their work too. It is just the best. Somebody comes into their right mind before I do, and peace descends just like an Insta filter of golden glitter, like a shower of rose petals in the sunlight, like a warm hug. And the other bonus is there's a bunch of books around here. Right now they're mostly downstairs in the library, but there's a bookshelf upstairs. And I was sorting through the books, and I found so many good books. I mean, I've been here, almost 10 years, and I still find books I haven't seen before that are so for me. And I found the Tao Te Ching. That's how it says I'm supposed to say it. Tao Te Ching. That's it. That's how I'm supposed to say it. By Lao Tzu, with a new English translation by Stephen Mitchell. And it's a tiny little book. It's like as big as my hand. And I started reading it, and it is awesome. It is wonderful. It's beautiful teaching. I realized that I was going to read you something that I didn't print out because I don't know why, but we'll go from there. I'll read you part of what I have. I wanted to read you what some of the things in the book was. But part of it was this. Let me tell you what the Tao is. Tao is the unconditional and unknowable source and guiding principle of all reality as conceived by Taoists. The etymology, which means how did the word come about, was it's a Chinese word which literally means way. So, Tao is the way. And here was part of what was from what Lao Tzu said and Stephen Mitchell translated into English. When people see things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. Well, part of why I was so entranced by this book was it was so simple and yet complex. Like, practice non-doing, and everything will fall into place. When people see things as beautiful, other things become ugly. Well, I love looking at Christmas trees. I love looking at lights. I was at a restaurant the other day, and looking at the Christmas tree with the lights on it just made me feel really happy. Does that mean that You know, what does that mean about when people see things as beautiful, other things become ugly? I pondered that a lot. It's the non-duality that is at the basis of unity teachings. There's only one good God, good the absolute, the non-duality. And it's a tough frog to swallow because it means you're going to love everything. If you find some things beautiful but not other things, those things are going to turn ugly. If you find some people as good or some things as good, other things become bad. We have to see, this is our spiritual work, we actually have to cultivate a way to see all as beautiful and to see all as good. Or neutral, if it's okay, you know, if you can get to neutral. It's like, that was exactly what Zach was talking about, right? I don't do bad. That guy was a Taoist scholar. He doesn't do bad. You know, and I do believe you can do neither bad nor good. You can just be. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. It's a mystery. And really, everybody, what is Christmas, but also a mystery? What is the mystery of peace at Christmas? Christmas is like all ideas that people have thought up and made into culture, right? Christmas is an idea. We made it into our culture, but it is always evolving. Christmas is ephemeral. It is also cast in stone. It is magical. It is also mercenary. So how will you be peace? What will you make Christmas this time? It's going back to thinking about not doing. How do you not do? The kind of the pat answer is, if you're not doing, you're being. You're being. So as much as I would like to say not doing is lying on the couch, it's not that simple. Not doing would be getting you into the present, and as we go around Des Moines and wherever we go around and we see Christmas lights or we see people or we see holiday happenings or all the different traditions that celebrate, and we may have some feelings that are not peaceful. For example, it seems to me when I go to a store, I actually like going to stores, but I start to have this feeling of, oh my God, I should be buying something for somebody. Anybody else feel that feeling? Like, except for Kyle, who has finished all his shopping. And I get this sort of uneasy feeling. And so, what do? I love it when I have gone through a lesson and I get to tell you guys about it. Oh, you know, last week I went through this lesson and I emerged and I'm so over it. I really wish I could say I was over it today. But today, I am the lesson. The lesson is I am in the middle of it. And what am I going to do? I decided, well, how am I going to be and not, you know, how am I going to be? How am I going to be in the middle of it? How am I going to feel less than peaceful and get up and talk about peace? And luckily, I knew that I had some spiritual support. So I went to bed last night and I said, okay, I have most of this written out, and I would really appreciate it if you would give me something to talk about tomorrow that ties it all together. And you can give me your judgment on if everything got tied together, but I had a few ideas this morning when I woke up. Thank you, all that is. Thank you, Spirit of Christmas. Thank you, all the saints and angels that are in my spiritual upline. Thank you. Here it is. The secret really is not doing. And I found it in a couple more pages of Lao Tzu's book. How does one practice not doing? Okay, this is gold, so I want you to hear it. It's really gold. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. One more time, because it's actually platinum. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. And the way to do that, the actual, that's a beautiful intention. The way that I have been able to do it in the midst of being in my stuff, or my unpeacefulness, or all of that doesn't look like peace, is I have the intention, choose once again. So in the middle of whatever I'm at, whatever I'm feeling shirty about or judgy about or anything, I think they told me what to do. I can choose once again. I can choose peace. I can pray about people behind their back, because people are praying about me behind my back. And I can choose peace. In the moment, I can choose. And I don't have to transform. That's the magic part, is that I can choose peace without pretending. I can choose peace and be halfway there. I can keep reminding myself and choose peace in the midst of being in my not my right mind. I can still choose peace, because I can be content to be simply myself, even if I'm annoying. So I'm going to say this one more time, because I think it's beautifully written and a wonderfully thing for us to remember. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you, and we can keep choosing peace. Let's take an offering for unity. I invite you to get to bring out your tithe, your giving, your love offering, and if you take your credit card over to the